Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulil kareem amma ba'd. So yesterday we discussed that Bir Mu'una. What happened was they killed all except one Sahabi who was remaining alive. They didn't realize that he was alive. This Sahabi, he got up, and as he was proceeding, he saw two individuals from those people tribes. Now they were innocent. And there's something very important. As Muslims, we are told we are not supposed to kill anybody innocent, right? And subhanAllah, we find so this is very, very important in the seerah. We're not supposed to go and kill anyone innocent. So he goes and he had seen these two men, and he went and he killed them. Of course, emotions would have gotten the better of him, etc. So now what happens is when he returns down to Medina, now you have to pay blood money. You have to pay the blood money. Remember when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went to Medina to Munawwara, what was the plan? What was the treaty and the pact and arrangement? That the Muslims will help, everybody will help each other. And they came to paying blood money, everyone helps each other. And they came to supporting another group, we'll all help. And we'll not go against this pact. Banu Nadir now, they lived in Medina to Munawwara. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam went and he told them that, you have to make the contribution as well towards this, because this is a part, an arrangement, a promise that was made. Now they started to they feigned willingness to accept the demand with pleasure, but what they were doing is they started to plot and plan against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they told the messenger that you sit here, and they placed him to sit on one by one wall. And the plan was that one person would go on the roof and they would drop a rock on him from the top of the house, and in that way they would get rid of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sayyidina Abu Bakr, Sayyidina Ali, Sayyidina Umar, and a few other Sahaba were there. But this is the messenger. The wahi comes to him, right? The wahi comes to him. And another thing that we know, this is just I'm going a bit on a tangent here, but this is to show you the truthfulness of the messenger. When the wahi comes, he's able to say. If the wahi doesn't come, he doesn't know. You understand? He, as in the Quran over and over, he mentions this, that I can only say and what I've been informed of. So at this moment, the wahi comes, the revelation comes that these people want to they're planning to throw a rock and kill you. Allah's messenger gets up, he goes outside, he walks back to the home, and then he tells the Sahaba to make preparation. And the Sahaba, they make preparation, they go, and for some 6 nights they besiege Banu Nadir. And then the Prophet ﷺ, they made an agreement then with Rasulullah ﷺ that if he agreed to spare their lives, they will leave the city with their belongings, but they will leave their arms, their weapons, etc. They'll leave. And Rasulullah ﷺ accepted this and they went along. I think it was on this occasion that these individuals, they actually, the doorknobs and the latches and everything from the doors, everything they took, man. Took everything. But that was so then they went then to and settled in Khaybar. And some of them went to Syria. After this we have Zatul Riqa was also another small raid. Here it was on the return back to Medina, the famous incident took place that Allah's messenger was lying having his siesta under a tree when one person came and he grabbed hold of the sword. Allah's messenger awoke and he said to him, and so the man said to him, who's going to save you? Who's going to save you? You can say it if you want. Who's going to save you? You all come here. There's it. So he said, who's going to save you? So the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Allah. Allah is going to save me. And the sword dropped. Allah's messenger picked the sword and said, now who's going to save you? And he said, basically be kind and gentle. Hold the sword properly. Rasulullah let him go. He went back and his whole community then became Muslims. Remember, Abu Sufyan has said next year we're going to meet. So in the 4th year now, they go towards. Yeah, go, boy. Mommy's calling you. So in the 4th year, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba went to Badr. For 8 days they stayed there. But Abu Sufyan, he didn't even leave Makkah. Then comes the battle of what was called the Battle of Ahzab or the Battle of Trenches. This was in Shawwal, the fifth year of Hijrah. So Abu Sufyan now gathers a whole great army that's made up of Meccans, different tribes, Banu Ghatfan, and he's also speaking to the Jews who are still residing in Madinatul Munawwara. And he amasses this huge army and comes and decides that they're going to come and try to wipe out um, the Muslims once and for all. And one of the things, for example, there was a lot of bargaining going on with the different tribes. So now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam hears of this. There was no way that you could go forward with their number to attack. And it was at this point Salman Farsi radiallahu anhu gave the mashwara. He said that, when I lived in the Persian area, when anybody would want to attack, we'd dig trenches so that people can come and attack us. Remember, we said at the very beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destined for the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam Medina. And Medina had on one side, it was the Jewish forts, then it was also the cluster of the trees and everything, then there was the mountains. So only one area was basically an army would be able to come and come into and bombard the city. So what they did then, so this area is the part that they decided that they will dig the trench. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam divided the work between amongst the Sahaba, and he himself took part. And again, that's leadership. He just didn't say, "Hey, you guys go ahead, do it." No, he also took part. And it was during this time then, many, what we saw here, Imam Zakaria read, "Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa," the lovely verses, the importance of brotherhood. And then subsequently, the other advices that come, that don't laugh, don't mock, don't insult, don't call names, don't backbite, don't have evil thoughts. Basically, anything that would bring any type of malice and hatred amongst the Muslims, we've been told to stay away from. We've been told to stay away from. We've been told to become brothers. And the spirit of brotherhood was witnessed, throughout the lives of the Sahaba, and it was also witnessed predominantly during this digging of the battles. They were there for each other. It wasn't like, you guys go ahead and do it. And they're digging. Then we have the incident of Jabir radiallahu anhu taking the messenger to his home because he saw the messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had two stones tied to his stomach. The Sahaba complained, we don't have food. And they used to tie a specific type of stone. Scholars mentioned one was it would make your back straight so you wouldn't be leaning down. Also, they say there was the type of stone that they would tie would bring a bit of coolness to your stomach. Because when you are very, very hungry, there's like a burning sensation within the stomach. So what will happen is that stone will bring a coolness. So when the Sahabi showed the messenger that I have one stone tied, Allah's messenger showed he had two stones tied. Jabir went home. He asked his wife, famous story, what do you have anything? And they had one small lamb. He said, okay, let's start that, get the bread ready. He told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, come. He told the messenger, come, bring a few people. Bring a few people with you. Allah's messenger said, Jabir, what you have? He said, this, I have this amount. Allah's messenger said, come, everybody come. And then when he went home, the wife, amazing. When he hurried home, he told the wife, Allah's messenger is bringing everybody. She said, wait, Allah's messenger said, okay, then we don't have any worry. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam came and said, you just keep cooking, don't lift up the pot, and just everybody came in. Allah's messenger served them. A small amount of food was enough for the army. And again, there was another amazing miracle. Now, this is what we call Iman, right? Again, in Surah Hujurat today, we learned, قُلْ تُؤْمِنُوا وَلَكِنْ قُولُوا أَسْلَمْنَا. The Bedouins were coming and they were saying, we believe. Well, really and truly didn't have belief, right? And it's when the going gets tough, that's when you separate the good from the bad. That's when you know who's sincere and who's not. And in anything in life, that's basically the criterion. That's what differentiates when the going gets tough. When you school someone, you want to see, now, are they really sincere? Do they want to learn or not? Right? So a teacher who schools a student for something that needs to be scolded for, if the student is sincere and truthful in his pursuit of knowledge, he will take it as constructive criticism and get better. But if he has other motives and he's not a sincere student, then he runs away. Right? That's how the differentiation between the munafiq and the true believers were. So what's amazing here is that whilst they were digging, And it's also interesting that there was this big boulder that they couldn't get rid of. And that boulder came in the area that was designated for Salman radiallahu anhu and other Sahaba as well. So again, here, Salman is the one who told them about this, making this ditch or but what happened was it was Salman radiallahu anh and his group who weren't able to get rid of this big boulder that had come in their way. So again, it shows that it is Allah who makes things happen. Because initially everybody we want to be with Salman. Salman knows how to do this. But Salman himself comes into difficulty at this point. So they call to the messenger, and the messenger comes and he takes the axe and strikes one. And then he's promising them of the palaces of Persia. He's promising them the second strike, and he's promising them the palaces of so he's basically promising everything. You're gonna get Persia, we're gonna get this Syria, all these places. And the Sahaba, they bring Iman. The messenger is saying it, that means it is gonna happen. They could have easily thought that, look at us, we're hungry, we're tired, it's getting cold outside. Um, and this man, we're digging a ditch so that we could protect ourselves from a huge army that's assembled to wipe us out. And this man here is telling us about the treasures of Syria and Persia and all. Well, that was Iman. May Allah grant us that Iman, that we have that belief on the word of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But they believed. And then when they came now, when the Makkans came and they saw it, they were a bit shocked at what was taking place. And as I said, there was also the internal threat of the Jews who were still residing. And Allah mentions that, we discussed that in the verse of the Quran. إذ جاءتكم جنود فأرسلنا عليهم ريحا وجنودا تروها وكان الله بما تعملون بصيرا إذ جاءوكم من فوقكم ومن أسفل منكم وإذ زاغت الأبصار وبلغت القلوب الحناجر وتظنون بالله الظنونا هنالك ابتلي المؤمنون وزلزلوا زلزالا شديدا. So there was an army coming from outside, there was an army within. It was a true test for the believers. And the believers, they passed this test. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, being the mercy for the entire universe, he had this pain that the Ansar are suffering. So he wanted to go and basically make a agreement with one of the with Banu Qurayza. Right. So because what had happened with Banu Ghatfan had gotten involved in the battle, and they were bringing a lot of they were bringing a huge army. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was intending to go and speak to the Banu Ghatfan that what we will do is that we will give you a third of the date harvest of Medina, and you don't come and take part in. You leave and don't be part of the army that opposes us. But when the Ansar Sahaba heard this, they said, no, O Messenger of Allah. Because the Messenger of Allah felt that the harm in this battle is going to be borne by the Ansar. And they've done so much. But again, their Iman, the Iman, that they said, no, O Messenger of Allah, the only people that would get dates and the kajur from us was either they're our guests or by purchase. Allah has honored us with Islam. You think we will give them anything? No. We shall not give them anything but the sword until Allah decides between us. So the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, as you please. And then there was a lot of skirmishes, a few skirmishes, arrows flying from one side to the other. It was in this battle that Ali radiallahu anh, he killed a man who was considered to be equivalent of 1,000 men, Amr ibn Abu Wud. When he crossed the ditch and he asked, who's gonna fight me? Ali radiallahu anh came forward. Ali radiallahu anh finished him off. So the Muslims were hungry. It was very cold, and if you've been, and may Allah take us over and over to Madinatul Munawwara. When Medina gets cold, it gets cold, right? You have some wintry, chilly nights in Medina, and it's cold. So, but it so happened that when Allah wants, and as I said, going back to that, you're sincere, you're doing what is right, Allah makes a way out. So remember the Banu Ghatfan, who were bringing a huge army? one of their own, Nu'aym ibn Mas'ud, becomes a Muslim. And he's hiding his Islam. He's not telling them. He goes to the messenger, I'm a Muslim. Tell me what to do. Messenger said, okay, yeah, go ahead. So he went and basically he went to the Banu Ghatfan and he told the Banu Ghatfan that, you know what? Um, no, so first he went to Qurayza. He went to the Banu Qurayza because the Banu Qurayza were in Medina. They were the Jews who were in Medina. So he went to them and he said, listen, these people, you're staying here in Medina. When the battle finishes, they'll go off to their homes and they'll not help you. And you'll be there to fend to yourself. So what you should do is demand from them that they send some of their senior people, right? And basically they'll be hostages. And in that way, they will be forced to help you when the battle finishes and Muhammad and his people come and attack you. Then he goes to Abu Sufyan and he mentions, the Banu Qurayza, they're planning now to join forces with Muhammad. They realize that this is not a winnable time for them. So instead, what they're going to do is that they're going to come now and demand some of your leaders. So he's using tricks here, which is totally permissible during war, right? So when this happened now, Abu Sufyan and them now, there's a lot of misfeelings amongst each other. And Abu Sufyan said, let's get up and go from here. Let's get up and go from here. And during that night, there was a huge wind as well. Very cold, high wind. It didn't really affect the Muslims, but it was the disbelievers. Their tents were uprooted. The animals started behaving bad. And Abu Sufyan got on his animal and he said, come, let's go. And it was then that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the Quraysh shall never attack you again. They should not attack you again after this year, but it will be you that will attack them. 7 Muslims departed from this world, were martyred. 4 from the infidels were killed. And remember Banu Qurayza, that was the group who was supposed to be with the Muslims, but they went against the Muslims. So now Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was instructed by Allah, go. He came home and was about to take off his armor. And Jibreel came and said, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam then got his armor and he went off. So when they went, right, so they went and Jibreel said to him, Allah commands you to march to Banu Qurayza. I am also to go there to make them tremble. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said to the Sahaba that you have to go and pray your Asr Salah in Banu Qurayza. In other words, hasten and get there. And they went towards Banu Qurayza. And then at that time, they decided, Sa'd ibn Mu'az radiallahu anh, he had a lot of connection with them, but he had made that dua. What happened during the battle? An arrow had pierced him. And he said that, oh Allah, do not take my life, just get the words.